Today we re-off to Europe in the year 1914, where we will meet a pesky young man whose name you might recognize. Gavrilo Princip, though you may be more familiar with the last name spelled Princip. Anyway, whatever your connection to this world-ending young man, let's meet him. Before we do that, however, I want to introduce myself. I am the author of a history book for people who can't even stomach a full 10 minutes of actual lectures. But enough about me. Let's get back to the doomed royal and his assassin. As we'll soon see, there were plenty of people who wished Ferdinand well, but none more so than his wife Sophie. Born into the Habsburg dynasty, Ferdinand was next in line to rule the Austro-Hungarian Empire, a sprawling multi-ethnic domain encompassing present-day Austria-Hungary, along with parts of Italy, Poland, Ukraine, Romania, and the Balkans. The empire was less a harmonious union and more an uneasy truce between a bunch of incompatible ethnic groups. And nowhere were tensions higher than in the Balkans, a powder keg of competing nationalist movements. Chief among them were the Serbs, who had designs on uniting all Slavic peoples under one roof, an irredenist project that put them at odds with the Austrians, who ruled over many of these same lands. When Archduke Franz Ferdinand decided to pay a visit to Sarajevo, the capital of Bosnia, a province recently annexed by Austria-Hungary against stiff Serbian objections, he might as well have hung a target on his back. On point-blank range, though, was Gavrilo Princip, a 19-year-old member of a Serbian nationalist group called the Black Hand. When Ferdinand's motorcade passed by, Princip lost no time in making his move. He whipped out a pistol and fired 2 shots, killing the Archduke and his wife instantly. A third conspirator managed to fire a 4th shot, but it missed. The motive to liberate the Balkans from foreign domination and establish a free and independent Serbia. While the Archduke lay dying, he managed to utter the now famous words, "It is too late. Everything is lost." And indeed, within a month, Europe would be at war. How did a small group of radical nationalists spark such a massive international conflict? Well, the answer lies in the structure of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, which was increasingly being challenged by the rise of nationalism. Much like today's empires, Austria-Hungary was a patchwork quilt of different ethnic groups, each with their own language, culture, and grievances. The empire's rulers struggled to keep the peace, as various nationalist movements demanded more autonomy or even outright independence. The Serbs, who enjoyed the support of Russia, wanted to create a greater Serbia that would encompass all Slavic peoples. Meanwhile, the Germans backed the Austrians unconditionally. When the Archduke was assassinated, it seemed like just another case of ethnic tensions spilling over into violence. After all, nationalist incidents were not uncommon in the Balkans. But Austria-Hungary saw an opportunity to put down the Serbian nationalists once and for all. With German support, they issued an ultimatum demanding, among other things, the right to pursue the assassins across the border into Serbia. When the Serbs refused, the Austrians declared war on July, kicking off a frantic diplomatic game of musical chairs. Russia mobilized its army to defend Serbia, while France and Britain considered their options. Caught in the middle was Belgium, a neutral country whose only hope of avoiding war was to say yes to the Germans when they asked to pass through. As the French were making up their mind, the Germans declared war on them and began their invasion through Belgium. That left the British with a choice: either honor their treaty obligations to defend Belgium, or watch passively as the Germans took over Europe. They chose the former, marking the beginning of World War I, and that, my friends, is why we can thank the Black Hand for ending the summer of 1914. In just 1 month, millions of Europeans would be dead, and by the end of the war, 16 million more would follow. But that's a story for another time. For now, please remember to like and subscribe. Also, check out my new podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, my friends, goodbye.